Hey, hello, and welcome. I am Debbie Peterson of Getting to Clarity, and this is another episode of Creating More Success with Less Sacrifice in Your Leadership and Life. And today we are talking about what impact do you want to make in 2022? So, welcome back. One of my favorite sayings is that energy flows where the attention goes. So, what that means is what you put your attention on is what you attract to you. What you focus on grows and amplifies. And it sounds really simplistic, but it's very powerful. It's not so simple. And here's why. Because, at this point, we are multitasking, striving to do more, seeking productivity and efficiency over everything else because we want to get ahead kind of society. We want immediate results and we want to feel accomplished. We should ourselves, right? By saying that we should be further ahead in our careers or we should be more successful in our lives. We compare ourselves to other people. We measure ourselves and benchmark ourselves against other people and what they're doing. We judge ourselves. And that's a really harsh reality to endure for any length of time, really. And it needs to stop. So believe me, I know about this because I do it to myself. I have done it in the past in my corporate career. Getting myself just all twisted up, not knowing what it was that I wanted to do, not feeling like I had the skill set to be able to move ahead, trying whatever I could to advance in my career and it not working because of lack of clarity. And even in my business, sometimes I find in that mindset trap of, oh, geez, it should be easier than this. And other people are making things happen. Why aren't I doing it? Or why am I not having the success that I want kind of things? And it's interesting because I can identify when it's happening. And then I know what to do about it. So what happens is that how I recognize it is that I start to feel stress. So maybe feeling like tightness in my neck and my shoulders, or even a sense of unease, like I'm not in a content place. And I'll sense that unease in my heart area or in my gut, just that things aren't the way that I want them to be. And then the language, how I hear myself talking to myself is a dead giveaway that it's like, okay, I'm in a pattern that's not serving me. So what do you do instead? How can you make the impact that you want to in 2022? So, that's a really great place to start is with the question, what do you want instead? So let's think about what it is that you would like to accomplish this year. Consider the areas of life that you really want to make an impact on. Is it career? Is it health and fitness, relationships, spirituality? What area of life are you looking to make an impact on? And if you say all of it, that is part of the problem that's holding you back. So here's what I'd like you to do. I just want you to get all of this out of your head and make let's call it a will do list. So I had a coach, his name is Mark LeBlanc, and he had just such great information. And one of the things he talked about was doing a will do list for the year. So this is what I'm talking about, but we're going to use it just a little bit differently. So get out a piece of paper. And what I want you to do is write out all of the things that you will do this year. These are things that are calling to you. These are things that you just really have wanted to do. Maybe you haven't been able to make them happen in the past. And I want you to write them down. I want you to make a physical list with a pen and a piece of paper, or at least with a Word doc or something on your Mac. But I want you to get this out of your head and physically to a location. And that's the only way that we can do something about it, because it's a flawed strategy to try to keep everything in your head and figure it out, to move it around. It doesn't work so easily. So write out everything that you want. Maybe in your career, there's a promotion that you're looking for. Maybe it is, if you have a business, you're looking to increase your revenues by a certain dollar amount or percentage. Maybe you want a mentor. Maybe you're ready to make a bigger impact in your leadership and really go to that next level where you can support your team, coach your team, mentor your team to reach new levels for them personally and professionally. So whatever impact you are looking to make, write it down around your career or business or leadership. In health and fitness, it might be donating some weight back to the universe. And I say donate because when you lose something, you go looking for it. And oftentimes you find it. And in this particular case, I don't think that is what you want to have happen. So, maybe you have been putting everything else ahead of you. And you need to get your numbers under control because you've been sacrificing your health for the sake of everything else. And you're saying enough. That's the impact you want to have for yourself so you can take care of yourself and be there for the other people who need you. Maybe you're at that point where you want more meaning in your life, to connect with something that is more than you, creating and maybe craving a stronger connection to God, source, the universe, whatever it is that you label it, but doing something that has more meaning. That might mean that you're meditating or you want to learn how to meditate or practice yoga or qigong, which are all spiritual practices. Maybe you need to put boundaries around family time or time with your spouse or partner, or maybe it's both. It could be that working from home or working in a hybrid environment has really blurred those boundaries and those relationships might have suffered a bit, or they're just not as strong as you want them to be. I did a presentation yesterday and boundaries was huge in this conversation about how things have creeped in and taken over. And it's not the choice that we would have made for ourselves. So, thinking about that. So make a list. Make a list of all of these things, of what it is that you want to create this year and why you want them, why it's important to you. So that's the starting place. But I don't want you to stop there because as highly accomplished professionals, when we see a list like that to ourselves, it's like, okay, game on. I've got to achieve all of it. And that is not what we're going after here. Because it's that we are responsible for everyone and everything else mentality is getting us into a little bit of trouble, that stress. So let's take a deeper dive into the list that you'll make or that you have made. So what I want you to do is I want you to take the list and prioritize it. But here's the deal. I have something, and you may have heard this before. I call it the Mitchell method. So Mitchell is my son. Okay. And when he was a little boy and Christmas would come around and the Toys R Us catalog would get there, he would be going through with his fat red Sharpie and he'd be circling everything on the pages. It was just, there was 50 things in this little flyer that he wanted. So what we would do is we would sit down and go through the flyer together. And he would say, okay, Mom, I want this. And that was on the first page. And I would turn to the second page and he goes, oh, but I want this too. So the question would be, which one do you want most? You're comparing one against another. So there's only ever two in the equation. Which one do you want most? And then you move on to the third item. And again, you just compare the two. Which one do you want most? So look at this list and do the same thing. Figure out what the top 3 priorities are for this year that you want to make an impact. And picking no more than 3 because, well, first of all, we can't focus on everything and make an impact. That's a lie that we've been telling ourselves for a number of years, and it needs to stop. Again, coach of mine said that you want to discover an extreme sliver of focus. So 3 is doable. 3 is you can put some time and attention on that to really move the needle on what it is that you want to make an impact on. So pick 3 things that you're going to focus your time and attention on this year to really make an impact, whether that's your career, whether it's your relationships, your health and fitness, your mental wellness, whatever it is, you get to decide where you're going to make the impact. So The last piece of advice after you have gotten this far is I want you to add one more thing to the list. And that is add a little fun to your list. Something that wouldn't it be cool if, all right? And that could be something like a trip to someplace, or maybe it's a new hobby, learning a skill, painting, learning a language. What is something that you wanted to do that you can do just for you? Don't forget about that either. So until the next time, here is wishing you the clarity that you deserve and the impact that you desire. And if you would like to make a bigger impact in your career this year, then I encourage you to check out the Clarity Community, which is the place that busy women leaders go to create more success in their careers, their leadership, with less sacrifice to their life. So getting ahead doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice all that you are to get there. Go to theclaritycommunity.com. So that's it for now. Bye-bye. See you soon.